76ers. They're hosting their training camp in Charleston, South Carolina. And today, Joel Embiid revealed that he is now a United States citizen. That is so awesome. He said that he wants to be referred to as a myriad of things, but now American is one of them. He's also plus 575 to win his first MVP. So for more on Embiid's MVP chase, I do want to check in with our Tim Bontemps, who beat the Storm back to New York. Glad that you're safe, spending 2 days with the Sixers. Tim, what is now U.S. citizen Embiid's mentality heading into this season?
Well, Malika, and talking to Joel Embiid for a while yesterday before I got out of Charleston, as you said, ahead of this hurricane, he is excited about the season, and he is really looking forward to seeing what this Sixers team can do with this full complement of weapons it's got around him on the court. Now, Malika, this is really the first time in Joel Embiid's career that he comes into an NBA season where he doesn't have to worry about trying to make up for some deficiencies on the roster. He has James Harden, an ideal pick-and-roll partner. You can run pick-and-rolls with him all game long. They have shooters around him, guys like P.J. Tucker, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Daniel House, guys that can light it up from the outside and give Joel space inside to operate. And on top of that, the Sixers went out this summer and got both P.J. Tucker, the Anthony Melton, and Daniel House, three guys to improve their toughness and their defense on the perimeter. If you remember back after Game 6, in May, when they lost to the Miami Heat, Joel Embiid went on a long 2-minute soliloquy about how they need to get a guy like P.J. Tucker on the team. And both the days I came into practice the last 2 days, he and P.J. Tucker were in animated, long conversations on the court, having a very good time going over defensive coverages, going over things that P.J. Tucker did to slow Joel Embiid down last year. And Embiid feels very good about his team's chances of going deep in the playoffs. And as he said to me yesterday, it's not about getting to the conference finals. It's not about getting to the finals. It's about winning a championship. Everything else before that, falls short of that, doesn't matter anymore. And while Joel has said in the past he isn't worried anymore about winning MVP after coming up short the last couple of years, I don't think he'd mind too much if he winds up on top of that list this year as well.
Well, particularly because we haven't seen a repeat team come out of the East since 2018. So it'll be interesting to see whether it's going to be the Celtics who are going to establish themselves as dominant in the East here, or if Joel Embiid and the 76ers, if they may have something to say about it. Once again, Tim Bontemps, we're so glad you're safe. Everyone who is in the wake of Hurricane Ian, we wish you well. Janae, I do want to see a little bit of how this would work on the court for Joel Embiid.
Thanks, Malika. Joel Embiid, it seems like the last few years, he's always been the groomsman and not the groom. I know that's a little weird, but roll with me here. We all know he can get you 30 and 10 a night, but for him to win MVP, his team will need to be good, so it could come down to actually his passing, and that's what differentiated Jokic from him. He can do it, though. Joel averaged a career high in assists last season, so if he keeps improving, his chances at everything under the sun increase. You know what time it is. Roll me my tape for this, a Clay Coup, baby! I'm going to show you how this gets done. So Joel is here. He's dominant force, especially in the paint. But watch this. There are 3 defenders guarding him. He goes one-on-one, settles for a highly contested mid-range. If he's watching video from last season, he'll be like, okay, I need to eliminate those plays and have more of these types of plays. Facing up, reading the defense, see the help defense. All right, now he's going to bait them, makes his move. Another defender comes 3 again, and who does he find? His partner in crime, James Harden. This is the key for the Sixers. We know Joel's passing can thrive because he operates in the best pick and roll in the NBA with James Harden. In fact, according to Second Spectrum, their 1.2 points per direct pick and roll was the best by any duo in the NBA, including the playoffs. This is going to be the most important part of the Sixers offense. And if you don't believe me, your girl, take a listen to what Coach Doc Rivers said at practice.
I'm trying to get Joel first is to establish himself, be a better post player. We were a horrible, would you agree, a horrible post passing team last year?
Worse.
Horrible. All right, so our objective is getting that first. And that's why you got to have the right spirit about it. And you got to be the leader. Like, get them to do it right. And then what we got to get great at, just because we're looking for him, if there are 2 guys in the paint and we swing it, don't throw it. All right? We got to establish Joe and you as a pecking order. This ain't a democracy. It ain't a democracy.
I know what's going on.
Well, you've been the president.
I know what's going on. But I ain't the president anymore.
No. Yeah.
If I don't got the ball in my hands, not even like saying like that though, but I just know how like valuable I am. It's not even about scoring, but just the pressure that I put on defenses to where I could draw 2 to 3 people and get Tyrese easy shots. Even get Joel 8 points a game when I have to do all that.
I have to fight for it.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's when y'all going to get to the point where that's natural.
Yeah.
Right now everything is forced and unnatural. And
everybody feel like they're trying to go get it.
Yeah. And the only 2 I want to try to go get it are you and Joel.
Yeah.
The other ones we will figure out.
That's such awesome insight into practices. That's something that we don't usually get to hear as the average person, as reporters covering the game, as fans watching the game. Matt, I know you've been in those conversations before, though. What did you make of that?
I love it. And obviously we're talking about Joel Embiid's chance to win MVP, but I really think James Harden's going to be on a mission this year. He heard a lot of noise. Well, as far as moving from Brooklyn to the 76ers and this, and he can't do that anymore. I really feel like he is going to be the key to that team's success. They went out and got toughness. They went out and got shooting, which they've lacked in the past. Joel Embiid has been great for the last handful of years. He's been healthy. So I think I think he still has something to prove to himself and the rest of the world that he still is. Like Doc said, you were the president at one point. James Harden was the baddest man on the planet for a little while. So I think James Harden's resurgence this year is really going to help Embiid's chances of winning MVP and that team's chance to win a championship.
There was some honesty in there, right? Like Doc basically said, right now everything is forced and unnatural. I mean, that's what it was last year. This is something that could develop and could become something, but they didn't have enough time to do it. And when you talked to the Sixers last year, in the sense was, James was a free agent, and was he going to pick up his player option? They were going to sign him long term, or just do what he ended up doing, which is a shorter term team friendly contract. The question was, is this something that can be worked out by having a whole training camp to work it out and having a full year together? They believe that this team, if you give Doc Rivers, James Harden, and Joel Embiid time to work through this and find it to where there's a flow now, and it's not forced and unnatural, in Doc Rivers' words right there, that they really have something. Plus, they surround him with shooting. They just went out and got all the former Rockets.